Thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy podcast, where we delve into crazy creatures, evading extraterrestrials, horrifying haunted places, the unexplained, and the conspiracies that surround them. The following content will more than likely involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised. For bonus materials, uncut video versions of the episodes, and other great perks, go on over to patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. Dollars for disclosure, half Sawbuck Snally, and Paranormal Posse members will get a shout on the pod, access to the private Discord server, as well as more perks that you can find in each tier. However, if you are using an iOS application, I suggest that you sign up through a web browser to avoid the 30% fee that is charged through the app that is not at all related to the podcast. You will still be able to listen on the app, even though you sign up through the browser. So grab your rose colored glasses, skeptical suits, and hold onto your butts as we teleport into the realm of the CCC podcast. Hope to see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. With me again today is Miss Stacey from Early on Wednesdays.
I am one half of the Gorgeous Schools. We've got some exclusive interviews.
Ooh.
We do have an exclusive series called No More Stolen Sisters, discussing missing and murdered Black women and girls. The second part of the series, we are talking about cases of our Indigenous sisters.
You guys really like to get in there, and not only get in there, but cover things from a different viewpoint than most people.
One more thing about the podcast, there's a lot of duplicating from other podcasts.
That's when you know you're good.
I started to say imitation is the fondest form of flattery. I just want to put out there, don't settle for sloppy seconds with your podcast episodes. Come to the source.
Yeah.
And just know we are the ones that we put it out first. We put out the best, and come over and give us a listen.
Yeah, definitely listen. I always love listening to you guys. You guys are phenomenal. I do want to point out they do have Early on Wednesday, which is on social media, but not just that. They each have an individual one, which is great. So you have Stacey, who is Witch with All the Gifts, 666, and then Lav is Murder Juice. You can't miss either of them. They're awesome. Go check them out. Make sure you follow all of them, and don't forget to review everything. I know we're going to go over this at the end too, but it really does make a big difference. For those of you who are not watching the video, go check out the Patreon feed. All the video is going to be on there. It looks like we're going to have quite a bit of activity tonight, as usual, because when the witches get together, it happens. But my K2 meter is going freaking batshit. We've already had the cat ball go off. My spirit box is going off. It's just, there's a lot of activity today. In this day and age, we all contain some curiosity and concern about who is watching, listening to, and monitoring us through technology. Whether it is true or not, there are too many coincidences to not at least contemplate the concerning concept. This week, we're going to talk about a slightly more specific sector of the elusive act of espionage. So before we get into the exact thing, we are going to go ahead and talk a little bit about espionage in general, because there's a lot to espionage. People usually think it's like, oh, just spycraft, but there's a lot into it. So I wanted to just graze over that before we can get into the actual deep dive, because I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. So espionage is defined as, quote, the practice of spying or using spies, typically by governments, to obtain political and military information. We have all heard the tantalizing trope that tempts our minds into considering cryptic considerations of our glorious but sometimes ghastly governments, which we can all agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
In China, as far back as 4th or 5th century BC, yeah, whatever, you'll get over it. These are the writings that revolve around knowing your own military and those of your enemy to be successful in battle. I laugh because everybody's like, oh, it's now this. Dude, I was raised on BC. So sorry, but that's what it is. I'm not always kosher, but it happens. Now, the work mentioned above is called The Art of War, which most of you have probably at least heard of. Most of the time it's iffy, but here are some recon roles that constitute the classes of espionage according to that work of art. You have secret information agent, which is the person who provides copies of the enemy secrets. So that's one. Then you have, I love this name, the penetration agent.
Oh,
All right. Sounds like a good time. And this is the one who actually
what?
gains.
Wait,
Go ahead. Go ahead. It goes shiver.
I I knew that was part of recall, but just hearing you say it,
Yeah.
it made me giggle. I'm like, oh,
I,
penetration agent.
yeah. It goes, I'm aware. I was almost like the penetration agent. But anyway, so this
That
is
would
one.
have been awesome
Yeah.
too.
Well, we'll leave it in. We'll leave it in. It says, I want it. Okay. So apparently they want it too. So this is the agent who gains access to the enemy commander. So this is like your inside man.
Mm.
Yep.
Your honeypot, if you will.
Ooh, hey. Yeah, my honeypot penetrated. Nope.
I started to say you and lavender would be perfect honeypots.
This is I can't say. All right. So this one is one that on this podcast, and if you are just in this genre in general, you are fully aware of this person in this process. It is the disinformation agent. And this is the one that feeds the enemy a mix of true and false information to create confusion and or mislead them. For anybody who does anything extraterrestrial related, you are going to have a lot of disinformation agents involved. Like I just did the trilogy for the 1966 Michigan UFO sightings. And there was a lot going on there. One of my listeners reached out to me and told me that they had an opportunity to interview Mr. Van Horn. So for anybody who's listened to the episodes, I don't know what happened there, but I was like, oh my gosh, it would be so cool. And he's like, well, here, let me reach my feelers out and see if he's interested in being on your show and getting interviewed. So that would be
Wow.
freaking phenomenal because I was giving him mad props the whole time.
That would be cool. That would be super, super cool.
Sorry, I'm having some serious coughing issues, which is funny because my box keeps asking me if I'm sick as I'm hacking up a lung. But those are the areas as far as positions go and what they mean. Then you have counterintelligence, double agents, and psychological warfare are also mentioned in the work as well. If you guys have an opportunity, look into that because it has a lot of really good information as to how, why. It just gives a lot of good background so that you have an understanding going into if you are doing research or listening to these things, it'll give you a really good idea of what's happening, why it's happening, and some terminology that's good. So go definitely, again, Art of War, check it out. God, I
Yeah.
really am having a hard time. Sorry. I'm going to butcher some of these names. Sorry, not sorry. I am a Midwesterner. It is what it is.
Hey, words are hard. So
Yes,
words
words
are
are
hard.
definitely. So ancient Greek ruler. Oh, it agrees with us.
Well, and especially from the celestial plane or the energy plane, we're able to form our language because we're here in this reality. But I, the spirits coming through for the spirit box, they've got to break a lot of different
Mhm.
fields to get that message out. Yeah.
And I try to, again, there's a dictionary with base words. Hi. And there's a dictionary with base words, but I try to add certain ones in because, again, if there's only so many words in this dictionary, they have to get close. So sometimes you have to use a little bit of, okay, if it says ship, is it a boat? Is it a spaceship? Is it like, what is it? Because they only have certain words that they can
Mhm.
use. So I try to add some more contemporary words in or names so that way they can have a little bit more of a ballpark to try to reach out. But I try to switch them up every now and then too. If I start hearing like the same word over and over, I try to put more specifics in. But anyway, so that's where that's at. Ancient Greek ruler Hystaius, Diasis, Hystaius, something like that, would locate a local messenger, shave the sap's head, scribe some secrets on a scalp, wait for the lock to be long enough to mask the message, and send him out to be shaved once more to relay the message beneath. Ingenious for back in the day. This
I
is
started to say, can you imagine for just for a minute, you have these deep military secrets, these deep defensive or offensive, but you've got this treasure trove on your head.
Oh my, it reminds me of that Rush Hour where they're looking for the list of the triad, like all the members of the triad or whatever. And they're like, we're looking for this list. And they get a hold of this woman and they're like pushing her to get it. And she's like, I am the list. And she takes her wig off and they're all written on the back of her head. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay, and then for your horror fans like I am, think of Clive Barker's Books of Blood,
Okay.
because the lead character of that story and movie, all of the sins of the spirits that surrounded him are written on his skin.
Ah, okay. It goes,
And
I
they
love you. I
oh,
love you too. Anyway, so the patience it would take, because if you have to shave it, write the messages, and wait for the hair to grow back enough to hide the message, it can't be an immediate need. You know what I mean? Because it's going to take time.
well, not only that, I mean, think about the pain that has to be associated with that, because it's not like they could take a Sharpie and write this information on their head. This stuff has to be carved and
So my thing is, but they did have calligraphy and that kind of thing where ink was actually involved. So I feel like daughter.
oh,
Hello. I think I know who we're talking to now. Nita, is that you? Well, that seemed like a yeah on there, but it's been going crazy anyway. Can you do it again for me if that's Nita? Thank you. Hi, mom. Or mom. Hi, mom. 30.
hey, mom.
That's so crazy. I don't know what 30 means, but there's 30. But
My mom was
higher,
32 years.
younger Carl. Goes
Oh
30,
shit.
higher, younger. Well, you're higher above
Um,
me.
it said Carl and 30.
Yeah, it said 30, higher, younger Carl. Positively.
Uh,
Yes, apparently that's something.
oh shit.
Okay, we just had a look on your face. Sorry, your face just changed. Like your whole energy just shifted. Oh, it's going, yep.
When
So,
I was in
and it
when
goes,
I
I
was in
understand.
college, when I was in college, myself and one of my very close friends, he was gay, but he was a Mormon.
Oh,
And so to pass in front of his family, I married him and he committed suicide
oh,
before his 30th birthday.
bedroom.
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
No, no.
Okay.
He shot himself in his garage, but he left all of the notes and everything in the bedroom.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, that just got real deep real fast. Well, hi, Carl. I'm sorry that you had to do that.
I'm sorry you did too, because you would have been a hell of a man and
That's,
things would have changed.
oh, just as dying. It just got really heavy in here.
And I don't know if you noticed it, but I seen it. I hope it comes on the playback. You have in the corner, it'll be your right hand side. Yep, right
Mhm.
there. You have a shadow,
Do
and
I?
it's not a normal shadow. It's not a normal shadow. It comes in and out, but it's the shape of a body.
That is insane. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, this just got really sad. Like, and I got to shift back to espionage.
In all honesty, this was like his deal. This was his thing. He
Really?
loved, yeah, he loved movies about war. He loved stuff about government and conspiracies. Was there a Nick that came through? A
Nicholas.
Nick? Oh shit. Nicholas was his boyfriend, his long-term partner.
Oh. Oh. Okay, well, we'll try to lift our spirits back up with espionage. All right. So we went with sorry, the Greek guy who would shave the head, write the message, and then send him off to be shaved and get the message. Because then my thing is, so
So,
then did he come back with his hair, or did they shave him again before he left?
okay, we were talking about the calligraphy and the ink. So I could see that, yes, that it would be,
Because it wouldn't be as
it
painful.
would, well, it wouldn't be as painful, but how potent? Well, you couldn't really tattoo it or carve it because then you'd have to wait for their skull to heal before you could put a new message on.
Hello. Oh my god, he goes, hello, and the light comes on. Hello. That's what I was wondering too. Because if they're doing messages back and forth, or do they just shave somebody else's head and send them while they're waiting on the other guy to fade?
Yeah, heal or whatever.
Maybe they each have like their own messengers. Because
Okay,
then it
but
wouldn't
now
be as
here's my
suspicious with them going back and forth.
very true. But now here's my question, my thing though, and I'm sure it's just going to be rhetorical, but these guys either have to be house servants or they needed or they were in indentured slaves because I can't see these military men paying the kind of money it would take for these people, these messengers to risk their life or
But
their life.
what if they were like traders? Not like traitor, but like a trader, where they would travel from place to place and trade whatever goods they had, and they were just using that person to get in and out. Because that'd be somebody that could
Yeah.
easily gain access to multiple locations and that kind of thing.
Oh, they would have access to the people who have access to royalty because you're trading goods.
Mhm.
That would be like the best cover.
Yeah, because no one's gonna think it.
No, not for the little old lady that comes and brings her flour and sugar and makes her
Yep.
pastries, makes her bread.
Oh, I was thinking the wine guy, but yeah, that works too.
Yeah,
Well, because back in the day, the religions and stuff, they always had sacramental wine.
yeah, absolutely. And you had to have the guy who made the wine.
Yeah. So we got some options there. So this is one that I think is so crazy. There was Elizabeth Van Loo, and she smuggled messages in hollowed out eggs. Like she took the thing, cracked the egg at the bottom, drained the eggshell, rolled up messages, and stuck it back into the eggshells. And she would deliver them to soldiers that were captured by Confederates. She would bring food to these soldiers and feed them. I actually heard about this on a History Channel documentary as well. And she would do that. So she would basically break the bottom of the egg, hollow, let it drain, put the messages in, and she would feed these people. And they would just pick up the egg because it just looked like regular eggs. And so they'd pick them up and unroll the message from the inside.
See, now I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's one thing I thought was super cool. But we've all had an idea of how these things work and the multitude of methods that were used. However, this is valid. The one that I really wanted to discuss today was the conspiracy that countries conducted crazy missions using none other than crafty covert critters. Yes, I've
I
heard.
love it. I love it.
That's why I was like, oh, she's gonna get a kick out of this one.
Oh,
And I have a
yes.
multitude of examples here.
Oh
um,
man, this is going
um,
to be great.
yeah, that's right. So we have all admired and absolutely astonishing animal kingdom coming to the forefront as spies. The first example is free spirited super spies, the bee eater bird, which is a cool name. So in
That is
May,
a very cool name.
and this is fairly recent too. So in May of 2012, a bee eater bird bit the dust within the boundaries of Gaziantep, Turkey. Ironic. And when unsuspecting citizens happened upon it, they noticed it sporting a strap later identified as an Israeli band, is what they called it. So whispers, woo. There you go. I have a slur occasionally now, apparently. So whispers rapidly whipped through the community that the strap contained a microchip and the bird was in fact an aviary agent.
That sounds like foul play to me.
But I love it. And the head of their version of the Department of Agriculture, named Akif Azampe. Okay, I can say thanks. Get props for that one. I can't say the country, but hey, that was pretty good. Did a full ass
Right.
autopsy on the bird, and he stated that, quote, the nose of the bird is very different and much lighter than others, and then added it can be used for audio and video. It was then, as I assume, in theoretical voice, he gave an extra evidence saying, quote, in the case of Israel, they do. End
So
quote.
they put a little like camera in their beak.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it like, so he does the autopsy of the bird and he notices the beak is there, but the strap was on, well, I guess it didn't say where the strap was. It just said there, did it say where it was? Hold on, let me go back up here. Oh, something's going crazy back there now.
I just
Okay, so it
assumed
just
it
says
was
it was
his little
sporting,
leg.
it was sporting a strap. It doesn't say where it was. Now, if the strap was around part of its beak, and then they're saying it's hollowed out and it could do sound and, or video or whatever, that would make sense. But I don't see them strapping the thing's beak shut because then it would die. This thing's going nuts now.
Right.
Hello. So I was thinking the strap would be like around its foot, but it didn't specify. So who knows? But I'm with you. Yeah, it's hollowed out and they could do audio and stuff. But how helpful would that be if there was no device? Unless they're saying the bird itself was a device, but he didn't say that it was mechanical when he dissected it.
No, that wouldn't make any sense because a mechanical bird is going to get a lot of attention. Because can you imagine the animatronics to make that bird? It's going to be expensive. The auditory and visual equipment is going to be hell of expensive because
Mm-hmm.
they would have to be tiny for the beak.
Yep. I don't know. That's just something I saw in there, and it was ironic to me that he specifically went to, oh, Israel does. Like the whole concept is Israel's using all these animals for covert operations. It has been surrounding Israel for a long time. These conspiracies are. My favorite one's later on, but so there's that one, and it says that they even brought in counterterrorism unit to poo the idea and reassure the population that these features are common in migratory fowl, which is funny that you said fowl too. People were so
Well,
worked up and convinced that they brought in counterterrorism to make a statement to chill out the masses.
well, okay. I just think it's funny you said poo the idea, and I thought
Yeah.
about maybe they fed the microchip to the bird and they had to wait till it shit.
So there's a guy that I'm going to cover. Actually, you know what? I might cover him soon. What was his name? The guy that would eat anything? His name was not Noah.
It said Noah.
Dang it. Yeah.
I
Do you
have a
know a Noah
grandson
too?
named Noah. I have a
Oh,
grandson named Noah.
look for me. So maybe they're going to give you signs, Stacey. I don't know how soon, but
I
just
don't,
be prepared.
I'm like, I don't doubt it because whenever my mom,
She's not here,
oh,
but it said sign, look for me. And so maybe she's like, hey,
well,
look for me. And she left.
it could be anytime my mom wants my attention or wants me to know she's with me, she will send me some type of owl. And it doesn't mean
Because
necessarily mean a
visitor.
live owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always mean a live owl. Sometimes it's a picture. Sometimes it's like on my safety vest for work, there's an owl on the zipper.
Oh, heck.
Yeah.
Apparently, you just need to look for a sign of a visitor. So I guess you're going to be getting a visitor sometime soon.
I hope they bring food because I don't want to cook.
I can feel that. So again, this was 2012. And then again in 2013, an avian adversary was accused of espionage. Hezbollah claimed that they ended up in possession of an Israeli eagle spy. They added that a multitude of these winged warriors had been witnessed soaring over the landscape with the goal of gathering intel via GPS chips. This particular eagle was said to be a part of a particular project revolving around raptors in Tel Aviv. It never mentioned the bird was breathing when they brought it into custody. So I don't know if the bird was dead, if it came down, if they just caught it. But there was an eagle that supposedly was part of this project where they were flying eagles consistently through the area and getting intel via GPS chips, which would make sense. It's
I
a
was
good,
gonna
if they're doing land recon, that would make a lot of sense.
well, and also too, I was gonna say that's definitely not in the United States because eagles are protected here, but that doesn't mean they're protected everywhere.
Yeah, this is saying that they were flying in Tel Aviv. I don't know who was in charge that I know of. Now, get this. When they got into custody, I don't know if it was live or dead, but they began firing on the supposed feathery agent like after finding it. So they see the flying agent and they just start gunning at it. Can you imagine? Like, you don't even know what's going on. You're just shooting at this bird.
What if that sucker's got C4 in his stomach? Then you've just caused a major.
Well, if you're shooting it high in the sky, maybe it wouldn't. It says enraged. Something does not like the idea that it's shooting birds.
I don't like the idea either, to be honest, but I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. You put a message in a bird, so you shoot it down. What if you destroy the message?
Oh, no, they're saying so somebody put the chip on it. The bird flies over, like, say, Tel Aviv, and they're shooting at it in Tel Aviv. I don't want you to get this information back. So they're shooting them down.
Oh, okay. But still, that's dumb.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
just
kind
want
of
to
dumb.
point out the irony of we had how many weather balloons just float on over us and no one did anything about it, but they're gunning down these birds. Like,
Oh, exactly. And it was just, what was it? What'd they say it was? It wasn't weather balloons this time. It was something else.
I thought they were weather balloons.
Um, is it that what they were
Yeah.
saying they were?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was weather balloons. They were just doing weather patterns and stuff like that. And it was
Eh,
hush.
yeah, but yet it's got Japanese writing on it.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that, but I just wanted to point that out. We'll just graze over that one. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, after investigation, it was determined that the raptor on the recon mission was simply being tracked for research and under the watch of Golan Heights Gamla Nature Reserve. Oops. However, the butchered bird was brought back to Israel on September 5th of 2017. So in 2013, they see this bird, they gun it down, and they think that it's giving out because it's got this chip or whatever on it. They do this still to this day. They'll find migratory birds and they will put trackers on them so that they can track the migration patterns to figure out why are they going one way or the other? What are their patterns? What's happening? Are things changing? Why are they changing? And they are doing that to this day. But I think it's interesting that in 2013, they gun one down, find out that it was just a research bird, and it doesn't get brought back to Israel until 2017. 4 years.
That's what I was saying. Like, what the hell took them 4 years? And you can't tell me this bird was still what researchable.
Exactly. So I don't know what was going on with it, but at least it was returned.
Well, they do that with sharks too, with great white
Yep.
sharks. They
Yep.
track them.
They do whales, sharks, dolphins,
Yeah.
penguins. Like, they do a whole bunch of animals like that. And they're even getting now to where they're tracking butterflies.
As cool of an idea as that is,
It's very
I
dangerous.
wish I was gonna say it's how delicate that butterfly is. Like you could take out a whole species of butterflies if you're not.
Now,
I can barely.
I don't think they're tagging the quantity. I think they're doing a lot fewer of them, like maybe picking a few out of like a whole whatever flock of butterflies. I don't know what you would call a flock of butterflies, but
I don't even know.
but I feel like they don't do as many. So maybe it's like if something happens, and there's a certain way that they do it. I think I don't know what the process is, but I've just heard that they do it.
Well, I'm just going to put this out there and then we will move on from it. Guys, stop wasting your money and time on butterflies and let's find a cure for cancer. Let's find a way to keep children from suffering. Let's find a way to prevent more suicides.
Yes.
And now I'll get off my soapbox and we'll continue with our animals as double
Betty,
agents.
other birds accused of aiding the enemy were griffins, vultures, pelicans, and kestrels. I don't know what a kestrel is. I think it's more of like a herring, or maybe, I don't know. But those are all birds that have been accused.
Okay, the pelican I could see because
Yeah,
you could sew something into the side of that sucker's lip and you'd never find it.
exactly. All I can think of are the birds from Finding Nemo.
Mine.
Let's take a dive into some other conspiracies containing curious, counterintelligent, trained creatures. While many of us are afraid of what lurks beneath the water and fear we should have brought a bigger boat, these theories will tap into underwater terrain and tempt you to travel closer to find out for yourself. Let's start with
Oh.
the main monster of the Marines, the scariest submarine steel master, sharks.
Oh, and just to throw it out there, because it is my absolute favorite movie and has been for my whole life. Jaws turns 50 this year.
Really?
Yes, it does.
This is assured. They agree. So we're on sharks, and back in 2010, there was an uptick in shark attacks near South Sinai Resort in, oh my gosh, Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt. So in Egypt. Once a German tourist became human shark bait. Ooh, sorry.
I
Shark
just
bait. Ooh,
you,
I literally
you
wrote
beat
it.
me.
I wrote it in my notes.
You beat me to it because I started when you said shark bait, I was waiting
Ooh,
for a pause so I could say, yeah.
I just thought it was funny. I literally typed it into my notes.
That's awesome. So now we've had two Nemo
Yep.
references.
Yep. Nemo's on it today. So these things grabbed the attention of the media, and a captain named Mustafa Ismail was interviewed on Egypt Today TV show. He was brought in and introduced as a famous diver. He made the accusation that a GPS tracker had been transdermally attached to one of the sharks and was serving as a guiding device. So saying, due to the chaos and misconstrued credentials of the guest, rumors ravaged through the country that Israel was in fact sicking these mammoth-sized marine monsters on unsuspected swimmers to seasoned seamen. So they're taking these sharks and they've got, think of like a heat-seeking missile, but it's shark, saying that they're controlling these sharks, saying you like guiding it, go attack these divers, go attack these swimmers, go attack these military institutions, or I guess boats, ships, whatever, and that kind of thing. What the hell?
Well, and truthfully, and if I'm telling you guys something you already know about sharks is something that's very interesting to me, is by truthfully, they could actually do this guiding of sharks because all they would have to do is give them an obsession like sharks, like they say, blood in
Mm-hmm.
the water. All they would have to do is take the sensor because the shark's brain is simple, is not complex at all. It's literally,
Eat.
it gains an obsession, eat. Yeah, the obsession is what it wants to eat. It swims and makes little sharks.
Yep.
So all they would have to do is change whatever the obsession is. Instead of it wanting a seal, they could make it want anything. They could attract it to the metallic of a warship, and this sucker could sink a ship.
Even the governor, Mohammed Abdul Fadli Shausha, that was close enough, started off in a conference saying, quote, What is being said about the Mossad throwing the deadly shark quote, in the sea to hit tourism in Egypt is not out of the question, but it needs time to confirm, end quote. So he's straight up saying, hey, it's possible, but we can't confirm it until we get more info.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you've only got one or two sharks that show up in the area, you're not going to be able to say, oh, this was a directed attack because it's only one or two. But
Mm-hmm.
now, if you start getting a fleet of sharks that show up, and not only, and truthfully, a great white wouldn't be the best. A bull shark, a
Yes.
bull shark would be the
But it
best.
doesn't say which kind of shark. It just says shark.
It just says shark.
Yep. Because they can go brackish, salt, and freshwater, technically, as far as I
That's
understand. Bull
right.
sharks can.
Bull
But
sharks can survive in a freaking toilet if they could, if they
yep.
were small enough.
Yep. And the biggest argument that the underwater assailants were in fact marine militants is in fact that they were claimed to not be native to the area. So how else would they get there? So they were picking sharks that were not native to the areas that were being attacked. And the attacks were
Yeah,
increasing in numbers.
but that doesn't make sense to me. And maybe it's because I'm not a military high up or I'm not a terrorist, but that doesn't make sense to me because what would gain the most attention if you're in
Well,
an area where
let's say they do use bull sharks because bull sharks are versatile. You can
okay,
send
well that wouldn't
they're probably not assuming that they're going to get caught. They're not going to get caught. They're not going to catch them in a net or harpooned or whatever. So I can see them being
right,
like,
but
what's the most durable and versatile one? Tagging it where you can't see it. And they might be like, well, we have this rogue shark that came out of nowhere. And why are they
and,
all of a
and
sudden migrating here or whatever? It says
and a bull
wandering.
shark, okay, a bull shark that would gain attention, but not the same. It would be like, okay, well, it's understandable that it's gone from freshwater to salt. That's okay, or whatever. But if you have an area like, say, okay, tiger sharks like
Mm-hmm.
warm water. They're not going to survive somewhere that it's icy, and they're going to get a lot of attention for even coming close to an area like that.
Now, I don't know. It says they're not native to the area, but I'm wondering if they're using something similar. Because again, if you're not thinking the shark's going to get caught and it's just a bite, most people aren't going to look into what type of bite, what's the size of the bite. They're just going to be like, shit, this mofo got bit by a shark. It's clearly bit by a shark, and then end of story. Until they
I
started
don't
getting
know.
to be too many.
Well, I started to say, yeah, you're right, actually.
So I can see them being like, who cares? We just want something that's going to be durable that we can use because it's just going to be a shark bite, a shark bite. It's not like it's attacking an entire boat where the whole bite mark's going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also too, I mean, if it's like you said, a rogue shark, and it's one, maybe two people, but again, if they show up as a fleet, then
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably not a fleet. It just says there's an uptick in attacks. So they might send in one or two rogue sharks. And I think I've heard some instances where, say, there's like a hurricane or there's something going on, and they really do have somewhere they're like, wait a minute, why is this shark here? They don't normally come this direction. They don't get that close to the people. And they do. I've heard the term rogue shark before.
oh, so yeah, rogue sharks. That's several. That's not unknown, but you said a hurricane. I thought a sharknado.
Sharks.
They
Yeah,
were
we got
like
sharknadoes.
they sent one or two in, and they're like, "Hey, this shit works." And then next thing you know,
And
they're
that's why the movie came out.
genetically.
They put the movie out so that way that's the disinformation because you get truth and false, and you're like, oh,
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
such a joke. There's no way that would happen. And not only that, but the Israel Foreign Ministry rebutted with a simple, maybe they watched too many Jaw movies. Like literally their
There you
response
see
was, maybe they watched too much Jaws. That was their response.
that. There it is, right there.
No
Freaking
scientific argument.
sharknado.
Yeah, not a scientific argument, not anything like that. It was just, maybe they watched too many shark movies.
Okay, here, just I'm going to throw this conspiracy in there because that's why it's fun. Okay, how do you get a tsunami? You get a tsunami by the plates shifting
Oh, like an
underneath,
earthquake, right?
like an earthquake. Yeah, you get an earthquake, or you get, if the plates shift hard enough, it will create a tsunami. What is one of the best ways to take an area out is a tsunami. There's movies like Bait, there's movies like, there's so many where they talk about sharks that go into areas because of a tsunami. You, you could have all of these sharks that tracked them, and then all of a sudden you set off a bomb or whatever underneath, you shift those plates. There you go. I'm so glad you hit me up and I was on vacation, because I'm so glad I'm part of this.
Yeah, this
That's
is
the best
great.
freaking thing I've done all day.
I thought it was perfect. So, another accused animal swims in the sea, but is not necessarily of the fishy variety. And this one is none other than everyone's favorite aquatic attraction, the dolphin.
Oh,
Yeah,
and they're
contrary,
smart as shit
they
too.
are. And contrary to popular belief, these mammalian geniuses are known as a little hasty in the wild. So I've noticed that they do, like, they'll pack up, like they're getting a suitcase. No, like they get together into these pods and they can cause some issues.
Yeah,
Yeah, like they can
yeah.
attack big prey. Sometimes they do get a little hasty, but not very often do you. Usually it's like killer whales and stuff like that are now starting to attack people and boats and stuff like that. But they do get a little hasty. They can attack pretty much anything as long as they're in their pod. But initial
Mm.
conspiracy theories making these malicious mammals out to be monsters began hitting heavy in August 19th of 2015. But rumors had been going around for about 20 years before this. So oh my gosh, is Adin, oh my God, brigades. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Bahamas declared they caught a dolphin strapped with a camera as well as unspecified quote unquote equipment after the malicious mammal maimed and murdered one of their members. So this is, I'm guessing, some kind of military brigade. And this dolphin, they caught it after it was screwing this dude up. I mean, it messed him up. And they ended up catching it. And they said it had all this equipment on it. And they're assuming that's why it was doing what it was doing. Like it was programmed to attack these people.
Okay. But real quick before we move on to dolphins, it's something else just occurred to me. Austin Powers.
Yes. Where's my freaking
Remember?
sharks with laser beams attached to
Sharks with
their head?
freaking lasers on their freaking heads.
Oh my God. I love those movies. I
Oh
didn't even
yeah.
put that together. I should have, but I did not. Epic fail on my end.
How often do dolphins really attack people though?
I don't know. I've heard some cases, but not a lot.
Well, yeah, they're like the the big prey are bullies, and they're like bully fighters.
Yeah. I just watched a documentary, and I've watched a lot of documentaries apparently lately, that a woman like went in the water and these dolphins started circling her. So a lot of times they'll find a body of fish and they will basically cyclone these small fish and they surround them and get them to go in a certain pattern and it pushes the fish up to the top of the water. And
And they eat them.
birds, those fish, I mean, it's like a pack fest. All kinds of species come together and eat it when the dolphins do this. So these dolphins started
Mhm.
circling this woman and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And when they were circling her, she got to her boat because they were like pushing her towards the boat. And when she got in, there was a shark nearby. So it almost seemed like these dolphins were
Oh,
protecting her,
yeah.
trying to push her towards this boat. And a whale did the same thing with another woman.
There have
Mm.
been dolphins that have swam down deep where you've had divers that went too far. It's where they've gone down and they've gotten divers, and they've either given them their dorsal fin or they've given them like their tail, and they'll bring them up to the surface, but bring them up at a pace where they don't end up
Yep,
with
they don't get the
bubbles.
bends.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolphins are amazing. So they found, like I said, they found this dolphin that's attacking this brigade member. And Iran's Fars news agency did what all media outlets do, and they embellished the situation and stated that, quote, Israeli made robot dolphin equipped with espionage equipment, including video recording cameras, end quote. Well done on the alliteration. It sounds like something I wrote. I did
I
not.
was like, wow.
And a photo started circulating of him holding up what seemed to look like a nose harness with a cylinder style device attached to it. And you can check out the TWZ link in my description, then you'll find the video. But what the absolute hell is going on here? There was also a Twitter post with a description of, quote, breaking, alleged Israeli Navy trained dolphin killed Hamas frogman. And the picture is fabulous. And it says, I should probably clarify that these frogmen are no relation to the Loveland variety, but are divers in scuba gear. And they go in and out of places.
Okay, but a harness on their nose, like that doesn't make sense to me because that's where all their sensory is.
Yeah. So what I'm picturing is it's almost like a strap that goes over. It looks like a strap that goes over, almost like a muzzle, but not closed at the end. It's like it slips over its head and straps down so that the sensor is like on the muzzle, but not affecting its movement.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because all their brain power, that's where their
Mm-hmm.
brain's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
is right there. Oh man.
And as we are all aware and have been talking about, were bestowed with a beautifully intelligent brain. They can be trained to locate, spot, mark, and occasionally recover relics of the deep. Unarmed underwater agents can complete recon missions and scout for explosives or ram into divers, causing disorientation. Some speculate that if the equipment with a weapon such as a blade could stab unsuspecting scuba divers, like little scuba Steves down there, in a less aggressive but also effective technique, these creatures can stick strobe lights to a subaquatic traveler so they can be spotted and dealt with before they are a threat. Tag you're it, and they stick them, like bump into them and adhere this flasher, like a strobe, onto these divers that
Yeah.
they can't get off. And then no matter where they go, they're going to be able to be seen.
But they have an already natural, like inborn natural sense to protect humans and animals and things in the sea.
In the
So
wild,
there would have to be some kind of
there's been
signals
attacks.
scramble.
There's been attacks in like places like SeaWorld or zoos, or there's been documented attacks on people in these confined spaces. I don't know why they're happening, but these trained helpers or divers or whatever that are participating in these events, I guess, to entertain people, have been
Hmm.
attacked. And if
But
they're
by a
smart,
dolphin?
yep, by dolphins.
Oh,
Yep, like some of
wow.
them are like fatal or nearly fatal, like getting rammed and held under and stuff like that.
I
So
know orcas do that because orcas are like the lions
dickheads.
of the sea world. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
dickheads.
And my thing is because they are so intelligent, they can be trained. You don't have penguins as much doing tricks at a zoo or Sea World or anything like that. They're picking whales, they're picking dolphins to do these
Mhm.
jump through the hoop and their little stand up and flippy thing. And they can do these commands. So what's to say they don't just have a dolphin and they just train it to sniff out bombs? You know what I mean?
Oh no, I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
And if
If
you can train a
any
dog to do
aquatic,
that, you have attack dogs. What if you have an attack dolphin?
well, and that's true too. I mean, think about it. You scramble the signals in their brain, and they do the same thing with human soldiers. Why couldn't they do it with an aquatic soldier? To
Exactly.
where they brainwash them into believing what they're doing is for the greater good,
Yeah. Or that people are bad.
or people are bad. And so you have to
Yeah.
protect
Or they're prey.
your, oh, prey.
If they're
Yeah.
like when they say divers, a lot of times they think that sharks attack the divers because if you look at a diver from a shark's perspective, it looks an awful lot like a seal.
Which is their favorite food because they're
Exactly.
fatty. They're fatty. They're
Mm-hmm.
warm. They taste good. Num
Yep.
num, eat them up.
Yep. Dolphins, beluga whales, and sea lions are the most common covert critters under the sea, rumored or proven to be used on military missions. So it's not now the attack dolphin is a theory, but they 100% have proven that they use dolphins for things underwater. Go get this underwater, identify this underwater,
Mhm.
assist underwater, that kind of thing. Now we're going to touch base on a few more. We're just going to touch base. We're not going to get too far deep in these, but believe it or not, lizards are sometimes said to be sourced by the Jews to spy on nuclear status of varying countries because the theory is their scaly skin is attracting atomic waves. So I guess they'll absorb, maybe. If they go into these places and they come out, then you could absorb, use the Geiger counter to see how potent
Okay,
these,
but how big is this damn lizard?
I don't know, it doesn't say. It's like a super skink.
Because I was like, is this like a freaking iguana?
Iguana.
Like,
That's what I was thinking. Or a chameleon blends in. That's a really
oh
slow
yeah.
mission, though.
I was gonna say that you got to have a lot of time for that. You might, yeah, you may
But
have to have a couple generations of scientists dealing with that shit.
yeah, I just thought that was funny. But they do say that even rats were cut loose in cities to try to drive out the inhabitants. And there were even
Okay,
with, yeah, like
that's
the
true.
plague.
Because I just started to say, look at the bubonic plague.
Yep. Interesting. I think that was witchcraft, but we're not going to get into that. Now, there were also whispers that Israel had used cattle with camera and covert listening devices to spy on farmers. Although I'm not sure what kind of government secrets these farmers could be hiding, but they use cows on, or cameras on cows. Supposedly, that's the rumor. Wouldn't that be a little
Where they
obvious?
put them? I was just gonna say, where the hell would you put that? Because you,
Oh, what if it's one of those little tiny, like you could stick a camera to something? You always see, you just stick the thing on it. What if they stick it on their little ear tag? They're
oh,
not going to pay
what if
attention to that.
the whole ear tag? There's your device right there, the whole tag.
Yeah, the chip in the tag and the camera implanted
Yeah.
into it. I don't know what you would use a cow camera for. Let's go to the
Oh,
cattle cam,
okay.
guys. Let's see if they're fucking in the barn. It's like country porn.
Oh God.
It's just
I
positive.
but think about it though. But think about it. Who is going to be the least uh, who's going to really sit there and think
How
like,
much
hey,
fertilizer do they have? Rational,
methane.
thank you.
Hey, methane is flammable.
Yeah, don't they use it for bombs?
You can light a cow fart and blow up a barn.
Yeah. Shoot out sparks out, out of the camera.
Uh, how many of us didn't do that in high school? Hey, let me see if I can light my fart.
I have never lit a fart. I do a lot of weird country stuff, but I have never lit a fart. Because if you
I've
light a
never.
fart, that hole is open and you literally can burn your anus. This is just going downhill fast, but you can literally burn your anus. So do not light a fart, guys. Disclaimer, do not
it
do it. Do
no,
not
and
light a
especially
firework out of your butt
girls.
either.
Yeah, girls don't do this because you've got two openings and
Oh, yeah. But you really do.
you.
So it's got to open for air to come out and it moves very fast. So you can singe your booty hole. No one wants a burnt
Oh.
starfish.
Oh man.
Do you think animals are really being used in the art of spycraft?
Okay, my heart wants to say no because I am such an animal lover. I mean, shit, I've got 7 dogs and now we have 2 cats. We rescue animals, but at the same time, this is also there's also entities that will take a human and make them into, well, I mean, look at, you have the suicide bombers. These
Mm-hmm.
people,
Yep.
why wouldn't weaponize
It's,
the one thing that people are going to fall immediately in love with because they are the least You
Or they're
know,
the
there's
stealthiest. Birds are everywhere. You're not going to see a shark coming. They're not, aside from the camera cows, they're all things that people see them all the time. They wouldn't even think of it. You know what I mean?
well, and what's going to be more unassuming for a spy than a farmer? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I, I've just out here milking my cow and sticking messages in a bottle, sticking,
Mm-hmm.
poison into you. You don't know.
Yep.
And if we are talking about it, that means that somebody else thought about it and had
Yep.
tried it years and years before.
All right. So I have two more questions. Question one: which of these options do you find the least plausible?
Hey, mine's got to be it's unless that's a giant lizard, that and just I mean, we know aviation, we know there's been several.
I'm just thinking
But
if the scales are there, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't I don't know.
And
I'm
how
gonna
many
go with the
lizards
lizard.
died so that they could figure out which ones scales hold what? Like they got to have some kind of testing. Kind of like, oh my gosh, I keep bringing up Project Sunshine. Maybe I just need to cover that at some point. But when they would test flesh and its reaction to nuclear amounts and different types and blah 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 to
Yeah.
figure out the
Yeah.
damage that would be done, they'd have to do the same thing with lizards. If you look at a lot of testing sites and these places where these machines are, or I guess these weapons are being held, are generally dry, deserted, desolate places. And who's going to think a lizard's just going to be a lizard? No one's going to think about it. And it's not attaching anything to it. It's just the scales absorbing it. But how
Right.
do you track the
Right.
lizard? You send
And
Bob in
you
and you
got to
get Jerry out. You know what I mean?
but you got to look at it from a realistic point of view too. How much funding is truly going to be available for you to keep killing freaking lizards to figure out
Oh,
which one scales?
there's one I forgot about that Ouch was at a ghost covered and I about died. So they got this cat. They spent all this money and time and effort training this cat. They let the cat loose and the cat like walked into traffic and got hit by a car or like just wandered off and just like wasn't doing anything they wanted it to do. Can you imagine?
Because cats don't do what you want them to do. They don't give
Cats
a
don't give a
they don't
fuck.
give a fuck.
I just thought it was funny that they were like training this cat. They're like, okay, this cat's we're gonna train it to go to this certain person or this certain type of person. And so they train it, they let it loose, and it just like wanders off. Fuck y'all.
Because that cat was probably at the end of the day, fuck you. You're
Yeah.
not, I'm going to go push a glass off of a counter.
Yep.
I don't care about what you should have trained a dog.
Yep.
It's
I
hard
don't
to
know.
kill a dog. It's
Now we just touched base on which one we find least plausible. So the lizard's out. But which one do you find to be the most plausible?
all freaking
Dolphins too.
dolphin. They're so smart. They're people pleasers. I mean,
I feel dolphins or birds.
oh yeah, because we've had,
Because no one ever looks up.
well, then look at the homing pigeons they used
Mm-hmm.
in World War II.
Yep. I mean, they were using pigeons for
PMJ.
decades. Oh. But yeah, I'm with dolphins. Well, dolphins are birds. Birds are more versatile than dolphins. They can go
And
more
they're
places.
easier. Well, and I started to say, and they would be more cost efficient too.
The only thing the dolphins are obviously only aquatic, but at the same time they have more options of things that they can do. A bird is a bird. You might know their migratory patterns, but you don't know that it's going to fly over a certain space or land in a certain area or whatever. Now, I guess if they're flying around, you're going to get a lot of good aerial view.
But can you imagine though attaching a tiny camera to like the breast or the underbelly of a bird? And there you go, right there. You've got a perfect spy camera if the little bastard flies where you want him to fly.
Exactly. But I guess if you're studying the migratory patterns, you're going to know exactly where these mofos are going. And if it
Yeah.
crosses through, you're going to be like cash money. It's like the drone cameras before drones were a thing. It's the same concept. And you know that they were, in my head, they're using them. They had to have been using it because as soon as that drone came out, what's the first thing they did? Let's put a camera on it and go look at stuff. Because who's going to think about a drone?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So there was a prerequisite there, I feel like, to make it automatically a thing.
I agree. I agree. Sorry.
You're good.
I agree.
But I just, like I said, there's a lot of them make a lot of sense. Now, as far as homing a shark into a certain area to attack a certain type of or group of people, I feel like that one is embellished. There's probably some truth to it. Maybe not that they're honing it, but if the shark, say it's an aggressive species or that particular shark is just aggressive in general, I can see them letting it loose and it's fine. Just run rampant, kill as many people as you can, all of that. But I don't think that they're steering it into a group of specific people or anything like that. I feel like it is more they are using its primal instincts. Well, I guess primal is not the word I'm looking for, but they're using its natural
No,
instincts.
no, that's right.
Okay,
Primal.
okay.
They're
I feel
primal
like that's not
instincts.
the word I was looking for, but we'll go with that. But they're using its instincts to get it to respond a certain way, not that they are training it to respond a certain way. So I feel like that one's a little bit both ends going.
Unless you have a high navy or an aquatic military presence, that's not going to really help you because you can't fly over anything.
Yeah, that's what
So
I
you
was
got
thinking. That's what I was thinking with the sharks and the dolphins. I mean, if you're wanting things to be aggressively attacked and you want it to be more natural and unsuspicious, you would go with a shark. Yes, a dolphin could essentially kill a person or people and all that, but it's going to be so out of character that it's going to draw more attention. You can't just write it off as, oh, the shark's a shark. It's, wait a minute, this dolphin's attacking people. Why are we having dolphin attacks? This is not right. Something's up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
They make cameras. You can put a camera into a contact lens,
Mm-hmm.
or you can make an artificial eye that is a whole
Ooh,
computer. Why can't you do that on a dolphin?
that is a good point. Because then, if you want to get real sci-fi, you put these fake eyeballs or what these lenses, these whatever, or maybe it's just a mask, like a glass thing. It's like glasses, but you can make it see different things. So if it sees it's AI, it sees a person, but it makes it look like something else.
Mhm.
Or they hear a certain voice or a certain sound, like maybe scuba equipment translates into danger or whatever. You know what I mean?
The sonar that they have in their noses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really just now I've got on this whole idea of you have an intelligence agent that is sending it signals and making it do what it wants it to do. That's plausible.
Yeah. I'm just thinking because they can interpret it into anything friend, foe, target, whatever you're wanting it to
Yep.
do, which is why sometimes it goes and gets stuff. Sometimes it just wanders around. It's just yeah, maybe they just let it have free range. And like I said, it's like a sleeper agent. It's just this dolphin that's just doing its thing. They're getting information. They're getting all this stuff. And then it's, nope, I need you to do this now. Boom, code goes in and it switches gears and it does whatever it needs it to do. And then you could turn it back off and it's just a regular floating dolphin.
I agree. 1000%.
That's what we have on espionage and animals and all of that stuff. So if you guys see this, comment on it. Let us know which one you think is plausible, which one you think is bogus. But I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up and we'll see you next time, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and give the show a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show and allows people to find us more easily. Also, head on over to www.patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy and subscribe to any of the tiers. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts on the pod, ad-free episodes, access to the private Discord server, quarterly appreciation gifts, and a chance to be on the show. Not to mention video versions of the episode. Before you go, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some self-designed merch by me, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please send them to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experiences on a listener episode. Just make sure that you specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show and let me know whether or not you would like your real name read or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you guys all again so much for your support. Until next time, my friends. See ya.